Hello folks, and welcome back to Whiskey Wars. My name is Sean, and tonight we're finally going to be doing a video we have talked about, teased, whatever the case, for a long time. If you've been following the channel, then you know. But you know, things got in the way, the rye battles, then March Madness and everything leading up to that. But now it's finally time to get to what is the best bottle and bond whiskey under $25. Let's get into it. Okay, here's our lineup for tonight, and as you heard, yes, you heard correctly, the best bottle and bond whiskey. And the reason I have to say that is because this is not a bourbon. It's really close to a bourbon, but it doesn't quite meet the standard because it's not aged in new charred oak barrels. It's aged in used barrels, so not a bourbon. That said, it's made by the same company, Heaven Hill, that makes this bottle. And these two bottles are made by the same company as well. You can probably tell because the bottles are identical. These are both Jim Beam products. So let's go ahead and get into this, get these things poured, and see which one of these will come out on top. Now, of course, they're all great, but one has to win and one has to be the loser. So in the A glass, and this will be typical way we do Whiskey Wars around here, or blind tastings. So A glass, Old Tub. Now some people hate this bottle, some people love it. We'll see how it fares tonight. Now in the B glass, because when I think of bottle in bonds under $25, I think about this bottle. But will it prevail and come out on top? We shall see. In the C glass, we will have Early Times. Oh, this is a screw off, right? This Early Times bottle and bond in glass C. That's always fun when the screw off tricks you. And by the way, folks, this is the new bottle of Early Times after the Barton takeover. See the notch? Should be noted that the new bottles are also a screw off, although different. The cap is aluminum instead of plastic, and they don't have the notch anymore. So there's 3 variations out there, something to keep in mind. But this is the new bottle nonetheless. In glass D, we will have Old Granddad. And man, these Jim Beam bottles have very tight corks. And finally, in glass E, we have the only one that's not a bourbon, Old Mellow Corn Whiskey. We'll see how it does against its big brother, Evan Williams Bottle and Bond. Okay, as usual, we have all of our whiskeys on our Drunken Susan. Let's get these things spun up, mixed up, all that good stuff, nice and dizzy, so that way we have no idea what's what. They're always trying to escape, trying to get away. They don't want to be drank, apparently. 2 bad whiskeys. All right, we'll call that good. Okay, to glass 1. Here we go. First sip. Let's get into this thing. I have to say they all smell wonderful. Let's get to the tasting. Now, we're not nosing, but there's glass 1. Now you guys know what it is. But if I were nosing, I would be almost fooled that that was a Maker's Mark product. Very cinnamon, very cherry. I would say the difference is this is a little more sour than I typically get on a Maker's Mark product, but there's that nice toasty oak note there as well, nice vanilla, nice peppery notes, but the main profile is cherry and cinnamon. Very nice first sip. Let's move along to glass number 2. Again, got a nice cherry and cinnamon note, but there's also like this grape note going on in this glass, and there's what that is before I forget. And there was a little bit of a drying kind of tannic oak note kind of on the finish. Not bad by any means, but certainly there. Also, a more prominent brown sugar in glass 2 than in glass 1. You know, all in all though, both of those very nice sips, although somewhat different. So it'll be interesting to see how those fare. Let's go ahead and move along to glass number 3. Man, as I said at the outset, there is not a bad whiskey on the table in my opinion, even though these are all budget bottles. Now, I'm guessing, you guys can confirm, that is the Brown-Forman product, because I got that quintessential kind of banana note. Now, I don't feel like Early Times has as much of a more forward banana note as, say, Old Forester or, say, Woodford Reserve, but it's still there for sure. So a lot of brown sugar, as you would expect. Caramel, nice kind of spicy notes going on there. So a little cinnamon, a little black pepper. There's also kind of some dark fruits playing in there. So like a plum, as well as maybe even like a blackberry, maybe even a grape, but not a super sweet grape. It's a very light grape note, and certainly not the prominent note. The prominent notes are definitely that banana, brown sugar, and that kind of peppery cinnamon spice. All in all though, a nice third sip. Let's move along to glass number 4. Okay, glass number 4. Here is what that is. And the most corn forward of any of them so far. Not necessarily in a bad way, but very corn forward, just kind of a sweet corn, almost like a cornbread note, which I don't mind. I love cornbread. You know, being a Southerner, you kind of have to love cornbread. It's in your DNA, I'm pretty sure. So sweet corn, cornbread, nice kind of, and this is like a sweet cornbread. So there's like brown sugar, there's like just kind of a general sweetness, kind of like a white sugar as well. There's also a little spice going on, so definitely some cinnamon playing in there, maybe even like a pepper. So maybe you folks have had jalapeno cornbread. A lot of folks do that in kind of a sweet way, so it's slightly sweet, but also spicy. And personally, I like that profile, that sweet and spicy, those kind of things mixing together. But all that said, I would say what dings this glass is that it also kind of felt a little thin. So compared to the first 3, this felt thinner, not as viscous, not as mouth coating, and just not as full of an experience as the first 3. So let's move along to glass number 4. Okay, so here is glass number 4. Another great experience, although I will say just a very typical bourbon profile. So everything you would expect: black pepper, brown sugar, vanilla, caramel, certainly a little cinnamon spice in there, nice toasty oaks, just a general oakiness going on in there. I bumped the glass a little bit. But it's that in the best of ways. And when I think about what is just kind of quintessential, what is bourbon, like if I had to introduce somebody to what bourbon is, I think of, as I said in the beginning, Evan Williams Bottle & Bond. I could be wrong, but that's what that tastes like to me. So we shall see. I got a lot of good whiskey in front of me here. We're gonna do some blinds off camera and then get back to you with the results and see which one of these Bottle & Bonds will come out on top. I think they're all great, except for maybe this one. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Be back in right now. And we're back. And it's time to reveal what's last, what's first, what's in between. Let's get to these things here. And let's go ahead and get into 5th place. And 5th place is, we got A. Spilled a little bit of that, but that's okay. A is Old Tub. One thing to note, Old Tub, this bottle specifically, has been open the longest of any of the bottles that are in our lineup tonight. So that may have affected things a little bit. It's probably been open at least 6 months longer than the next oldest bottle. So maybe that's why it was a little thin. It's also fairly low in the bottle. So something to note. You may have a different experience, but either way, it was the thinnest of the bunch tonight. So let's go ahead and move along. In 2nd place, I don't know why I'm spinning, I'm not gonna drink, but 2nd place is E, and E is Mellow Corn. Okay, well that's not a huge surprise. Actually, I'm surprised it didn't come in last because this is the cheapest bottle on the table, although, well, we only got 2 in the lineup. Not a bad bottle again. Obviously, it beat Old Tub and is a great bottle for the price. Again, the $7.50 of this is like $12 to $13, and this one was like $22 to $23. So, certainly worth a try for sure, but didn't stand up to these guys. And these were kind of separated. These were kind of over here, and then there's a little space and quality. And then these. And these were all really, really close, although I'd say there's maybe a little gap here as whatever these, but just a little bit. So let's get to third place here. Third place is B. Well, Evan Williams Bottle and Bond. Now, to be fair, this is the cheapest of the top three. And this bottle has also been open for a little while, so again, a thing to note. And it's kind of low in the bottle, a lot of air in there. So anyway, it is what it is. I do love this bottle, and for $16, $17, how could you not own one? It's just fantastic, and again, a great introduction if you're trying to turn people on to bourbon. This is quintessential bourbon notes. It's just right down the middle of the road, just everything you want from a bourbon. This does it. But moving along, that's our third place. Let's move along to second place. Second place is C. And C is Early Times Bottle and Bond. This is the new bottle again, and it's not quite as good as the old one. It's still decent. It's not a bad bottle by any means, but it's not the same quality, in my opinion, as the old bottle, which is unfortunate because that probably would have won, which means our winner is Old Grandad Bottle and Bond. And, so this was another one that a follower, friend, whatever, I hate the word follower, it seems pretentious. It seems like a little bit too celebrity-like people are following me, Instagram life, all that kind of nonsense that I just despise. I'm going to say a friend instead. This is a bottle that a friend recommended to me, so thank you, Hangin' AZ, for recommending this bottle. I've enjoyed it immensely, and obviously it's our winner. And granted, the space between these three, I mean, all three of these were very close. I could, a different day, they could probably swap around places. All of them excellent bottles, and even these, still not bad pours by any means, but just not quite the quality of these three. So folks, Old Grandad is our winner. If you did like the video, please hit that like button so YouTube knows that you liked it. And here is a playlist of other reviews that we have done if you want to check those out. And here's the subscribe button, so do both of those things. And until next time, folks, just remember, you can never have too much good whiskey.